Good afternoon, everyone. This is Marjorie Bolero Horton from the University of the West Indies. It is really a pleasure to be speaking with you today from the University of the West Indies. All our grade 9 students from our cluster schools, we are very happy to be sharing with you and your teachers. But I'm not going to steal the thunder as I say welcome to the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, and we're happy to partner with you. And I'm going to turn over now to Mrs. Karine Wisdom, who will do the introduction of the schools. Mrs. Wisdom.
Good afternoon to all you wonderful people who are present this afternoon, students, faculty members from the University of the West Indies, Heart Trust NTA, teachers from the cluster of schools that we are partnering with this afternoon. Indeed, today is a very blessed day. And it is so because a couple days or weeks ago, I met with Mrs. Horton via the telephone, and she asked me one question about another matter. And out of that one question, we're here on this platform today. And so I want to say a big, big thank you to you, Mrs. Horton, for allowing today to be a reality in this fashion. Big, big time, big up going on here. And so I want to say this afternoon, it is indeed an honor to be partnering with the University of the West Indies, Hart, NSTA, Knox College, Homewood Technical High School, Christiana High School, and Alston High School. And so when the idea came, it was to assist our grade 9 students at the Alphonsus Davis High School in being prepared for selecting their subjects going forward. I know it is indeed a trying time. It's hard. So much has been lost and so on. And so today it's with great gain that we are on this platform. And I just want to big up the team members, because today I can attest to the fact that teamwork make the dream work. And so the team members today that I want to acknowledge is Mrs. Bolero Horton. She is Assistant Registrar, Recruitment Office of Campus Registrar. She's in marketing, communications, and she is a woman who wears many hats. And she has her team, tech team behind her, and she will introduce them as we go forward. Then we have Mr. Damian Francis. He represents the Heart Trust NSTA, and he's coming out of the Region 4 area, St. James, and you will hear more about Mr. Francis as we go on. We have some very hardworking counselors, and they are as follow. We have counselor from Knox College. We have Ms. Stewart and Mr. Wisdom. From Homewood Technical High School, we have Mr. Evans. From Christiana High School, we have Trezeguet Smith. From Alston, she's not a counselor, but she's the grade 9 coordinator, and that is Mrs. Millwood Salmon. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Wisdom to just offer per, and then it's back over to you, Mrs. Horton. God bless you, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Father, I want to give you the honor and the glory and the praise. Father, this is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Father, we want to thank you for this opportunity that we have as grade 9 students and teachers and counselors to be able, oh God, to participate in this career expo. We pray that God, as we are engaged today, that God, you will guide our presenters, that you will bless them. We pray for even the platforms that we'll be on, that God, you will make it stable and that everybody will be able to share and to hear and to learn. Father, we give you the honor and the glory and the praise, and we tell you thanks. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So again, grade 9 students from all the schools, we want to welcome you to this platform today, UE and Heart Trust NTA. And we know you're at an exciting time of your life, at your school life, COVID or no COVID. So we don't allow COVID to stop us because life has to go on. Hence, we are here to share with you about how you can, the careers that are available, careers that you can study at UWI and the careers that you can study at Heart Trust NTA. But we are going to focus now on the UE, and you will hear a little bit later from our other presenter. And so we wanted to listen up. We have not only had, we don't only have the adults who are going to share with you. I'm going to introduce the UE team soon, but we also have some students. So we want you to listen up. You want to ask questions on the chat. We'll see how best we can answer them. If we can't answer them just now, we will make sure that you get the answers through your counselors. So thank you again for logging in, and some exciting times await you. We have some of the lecturers who are going to be sharing with you about the areas that you can study at the University of the West Indies. But you know, we want you to hear first of all from the students themselves. We have 2 students with us, and they're going to be sharing with you. We have 1 young lady and 1 young man. So our students, I'm going to introduce everybody now before they come on. Our students today are Daniel Mullins and Kiefer Denos. Those are our students. Can we see you, students, Kiefer and Daniel? Yes, so there's Daniel. Kiefer, where are you? Okay, and with us today, we have from our faculty, and we have from the Faculty of Humanities and Education, Dr. Nicole Plummer. Dr. Plummer. From the Faculty of Medical Sciences, we have Dr. Theon Jones. From the Faculty of Engineering, we have Dr. Omar Thomas. Dr. Coy should be joining us from the Faculty of Science and Technology. And Miss Taylor, Tashika Taylor. Where are you, Miss Taylor? Miss Taylor is from my office, the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications office. She is a Student Outreach and Recruitment Officer. Miss Taylor? We're not seeing the people. May we see you?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, there is Miss Taylor. Mr. O'Dane Murray is also from the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications office. He's an outreach.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Officer. That's Mr. Murray there. And can we see our faculty persons, please? Dr. Plummer, Dr. Jones, and Dr. Thomas. I know they're going to see a little later. So this is UE team that you're hearing from, and we're going to share with you about everything that you can become at the University of the West Indies as we help to train you. So we're going to tell you how you need to get there, what you can do, what kind of preparation you need to do to be able to get to us. So we want to introduce our students now. Danielle is a student in the Faculty of Science and Technology. She is a final year student, and she's going to be sharing with you just about herself, how UE has impacted her life and where she's going from there, or what she's doing, just a little bit about that. Kiefer also, Denos will tell you about him. They are both members of the, like your Students' Council, but it is bigger than that. We have our guild, and they are members of the Guild Council. And so at this time, I'm going to hand over to them. I think we'll put the lady first, and then after that, Kifo. So Daniel?
Sure. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that introduction, Mrs. Bolero Horton. It's a pleasure to be here and speaking with you students. I know, being in grade 9 is a pivotal time to be choosing a subject soon, and everybody is, Yeah, so my name is Daniel Mullings. I am the Faculty of Science and Technology representative. I'm studying software engineering, and I'm actually a second-year student. So this year and then one more year to go. So overall, coming into the university, many of us would have been in clubs from high school or, different groups that you would have been in at that point in time. So coming into university, it's kind of similar in that a part of you networking and finding your space is looking for clubs that you're interested in. So most departments have a club linked to it across the faculties. For example, I'm in software engineering. So, I was in computing club, and I would have helped out with the guild committee for my faculty, and kind of growing from there. Given that we've gone online, a big part of what my faculty guild committee has been doing as well is ensuring that our clubs are still operating. So, online meetings weekly. Thursdays are usually the club days. Of course, there may be other days, but primarily Thursdays will be club days. And students can still get a chance to interact. And of course, the guild puts on a whole host of events really across all faculties and across, even commuting students, etc. And from cultural events to just something to have fun and just listen to music and relax, because that's important as much as, you're doing other things. So I started off there with joining some different clubs and kind of building from there. I know many of us may also be in student council, right? And so you're looking to grow in leadership or grow in different ways. And the university does have different ways to that. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, through clubs and leading your clubs, but also you can join the Guild of Students, or you don't even have to only be focused on spaces within university. Maybe you have a church group as well that you'd like to join, or other bodies outside, right? My advice for you in terms of choosing or selecting subjects right now is kind of to remember what your passions are, what your interests are. And sometimes you can have a lot of them right now and you don't know which one to choose. I think you should explore. And, so yeah, you're going to choose some subjects that you do at high school and explore there. But also, if let's say you have an interest in coding, for example, there are many different courses online that you could check out. And many also like international networks and organizations online that you could link into. But overall, I would say get involved. I think the university experience is what you make it. You have to kind of take charge of your life. So if you want to grow in the space, you need to network with your lecturers, and that starts from high school, networking with your teachers to really see what is it that what kind of connections can you build from now that will continue to, you'll pour into them and they'll pour into you over the next few years of your life. Again, COVID-19 has come and that has kind of shaken up things. Everybody is, I think there's a general sense of anxiety just as a population overall, because there's so many different factors at play now. So it reinforces that need for, one, preserving your mental health, regardless of what you're doing, ensure that you're okay, you're getting enough sleep, you're eating well, in addition to doing your studies. But also you have to stay focused and prepared during this time, because we're laying the groundwork really for our future, and just for how we'll grow going forward. So overall, as you guys are, preparing right now, my number one advice to you is to get involved. Again, that can be through clubs, but there are many other different ways too, by networking with your lecturers, or just opening up those spaces for your growth really. Personally, I'm also involved in, you can probably see it on screen here, Young Experts in Tech for Health. That's one of the global youth tech councils in which I'm exploring. I already love technology, but I'm exploring how that intersects with the healthcare industry and the sector there. And learning a lot even about, things that would be going on in other faculties, such as like, what kind of tech policies do you need to be adjacent to? the software development, etc., and international relations. A bit of it would also be medicine from the healthcare industry. So overall, I think all the faculties, when you reach the big world, all the faculties kind of come together in a sense, in that when you're building a business, yeah, you're going to need a marketer from humanities. You're going to need, let's say it's a software product, you need a tech person from science and technology. You're going to need a law person to build out the policies for the business, etc., etc. So really and truly, the more connections you can make from now, and when I say connections, I mean genuine connections, right? Because you don't want to use people, and vice versa, right? Genuine connections, make friends, really and truly build out your network. As I say, your network is your net worth. And keep pushing from there. And for anyone who is interested in STEM, especially a young woman, I would really encourage you to go for it. I know it will be pitched as a male-dominated field or so on. But I think the numbers are kind of 50-50 for the faculty, actually. So, it's more of a image, I suppose. So if anyone is interested in STEM, feel free to reach out as well. I'm also doing some courses in humanities, in film and documentary making, etc. I'm enjoying those courses. You really learn a lot about just how to interpret the world, and also how are we as a Caribbean nation, creating content that is from us and for us. And I think that's important in creating our own body of knowledge and content overall. So there are many different courses. There are even some in like music, a sauna, dancehall, or different cultures and so on. I think that's very exciting to think about all the different courses of study that you can really pursue here. And it's just to keep thinking from now, like get creative from now in terms of what direction you'd like to take. You can do, depending on your course of study, you can do a minor. So again, I'm doing software engineering, but my minor is in film studies. And so it can be whatever you want it to be, really, within the confines of the, what can go with what. But again, keep dreaming, be big and bold with your ideas, and you'll be fine. All right, so I'll hand over to Kiefer now, if he's here.
He's here. Thank you, Daniel. And Daniel has another meeting soon, so we had to put her up early. Kiefer, can you share now?
He just messaged me to say his internet went out. So you can probably go to another section and come back to him.
All right. Now, students, you have heard from, we wanted to put the students first, and then so you catch your attention, somebody who looks like you or a little bit like you. So we want to talk to you about the University of the West Indies. The University of the West Indies is the #1 university in the Caribbean, in the English-speaking Caribbean, in Jamaica, and we are among the top 4% best universities in the world. So when you're thinking of UII, it is not just a local university, but we are a global university, so ranked, highly ranked. And we want you to start thinking about the UWI as a place of one of the places, or maybe your #1 place to come for your university education. Now, we are not only about all work and no play makes Jack and Jill or Jill dull. And so you heard from Daniel some aspects of what they do at UII. So you're seeing some pictures here now of our students' involvement. And Daniel didn't tell you that she went to, you hear a lot about World Health Organization now. Daniel did a presentation with the World Health Organization, I think something to do with maternal health. So when you get to UII, you are involved. Some of our students can study abroad. While they're studying with us, they can study locally. They can also go overseas and study as a part of their university experience. Okay, Mr. Murray. So we just wanted you to see some pictures of what some of the involvements. So you see dance creativity, you will see some persons, some of those are persons from other countries who have come to study at UII as a part of the exchange. And some of the good thing about the exchange is that some of them you don't even have to pay. Like if you're going to our Caribbean university, you want to go to to Trinidad because we are a 5-campus university. So we have the UWI Mona, then we have the UWI St. Augustine, then the UWI Cave Hill, the UWI Open Campus, and we have our newest one, the 5 Islands Campus. So there are those that we have. And at the University of the West Indies, all the careers that you can think of, they fall under some broad umbrellas, and we call those faculties. And you will hear from the different faculties what you can do, the careers you can do. So we are going to focus on some careers now, and we put them into a heading so you know where they are. So for medical sciences, science and technology, humanities and education, engineering, law, sport. No, so you want to come to UWI and you have all of these dreams and the exciting career. So what should you be doing now as grade 9 students? No, you don't have to have 20 subjects to come to UWI. You simply need to have 5 subjects, and 5 subjects should include some of them at the CAPE level. For many programs, you need to have CAPE, double units of CAPE. But for now, we are just concentrating on what you're going to be preparing for your CSEC. So your CSEC subjects, what should you have? What we say to you, if you love the sciences, do the sciences. Take all the sciences that you can. Add to them maybe literature or modern language or history if you love the sciences. So you want to have a mix, but do your sciences. Just concentrate on them. And if you don't so much love the sciences or you don't love the science at all, never mind. You do what you love, but add a science to it. It is always good to have a science, because some of the lecturers will tell you, some students, they think they know what they want to do now, but later on they change. When they reach 6th form, they change and want to do something that might involve the sciences. So you don't want to restrict yourself too much. So if you don't too love the sciences, do at least one science, a strong science. I wouldn't recommend HSB, Human and Social Biology. That can't give you any latitude if you want to change. Maybe one like biology or chemistry or physics, yes? Now, in these days, we are also saying your literature is very useful, and Dr. Plummer will talk to you more about that, or history or a modern language. And more we are saying to students, make sure you take science and, not science and technology, information technology or computer science. Those have a lot of latitude now. And so we suggest among your subjects that you're going to choose as you go forward, information technology. See, we say it's beneficial to have. All right, no, we won't go into the other part of it, but English language students is a must for UWI. You could be as bright as the sun. If you don't have English language, we will not be able to take you. So English language is a must. Mathematics is not compulsory for everything, but we suggest that you take it, because again, if you change your mind, mathematics give you a lot of latitude, and you will hear something from Dr. Coy about that as we go further. All right, so again, rule of thumb is if you love the sciences, do all the sciences, add English literature or history or a modern language, go with information technology among your mix. Based on the times we are in, we see how important that is. If you don't so much love the sciences, do at least one, take at least one strong science. That will help you. Good. Of course, you're going to mix your subjects. You don't want all business subjects. You're going to mix them. You have some art subjects, you have a science, and you have your business subjects, so that you do not get tied down when you shall have changed your mind, if you change your mind. Okay. All right. So those are some of the entry requirements. And you heard Daniel saying to you also to pay attention to your co-curricular activities. Those are very helpful, particularly for the medical sciences, and you will hear more about that as we go. Okay, Mr. Murray, thanks for that, sharing that part of our slide. No, pardon?
Kifa is in the meeting.
Okay, all right. So we have our next student now. So now that we have shared, so you bear in mind what you need to do, what the subjects that you need to take in order to be prepared. All right, so we have our next student who's going to be sharing with you now. So we hand over to Kiefer Denos before he gets kicked off again.
All right.
Kiefer?
Yes, before I get kicked off, you know, we're in the age of
yes.
The digital age, and
you know, technology is technology, it happens. So good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I am happy to be here to share with you my UA experience and how it has helped to shape me going into the corporate world or the working world, as you would call it sometime. Right. So I am a marketing major. I'm a final year marketing student at the University of Los Angeles. And let me tell you see, when you come to UA, if you have intention to UA, I hope you have all intentions to attend UA. Make the most of it. Currently, I am the Guild Public Relations Officer, and I can tell you how getting there was shaped by my time at UA and how it has helped me beyond that. So coming here, I was just like the ordinary student from high school. I can tell you, UA gives you the opportunity to start from square one, as I would say, because the social structure changes when you get here. So I was just a little normal student from, I'm a past student of San Diego. The most I've ever done at San Diego, I was the president for the Interact Club. So I got here, I actually started in SciTech, that's geosciences. I started with geosciences and I switched over to marketing because I found a new love to marketing. I got involved in other activities outside of just going to class, and that's very important, right? So I found myself here in Taylor Hall on the UWI campus, where I became a part of the public relations committee. And I also got involved working with a few companies that did marketing and public relations. At the same time, I decided that, hey, you know, I like this, let me switch to marketing. So I switched to a marketing major, right? And I can tell you, everything started to align perfectly. So I got more invested in public relations and social media management. And I was taking off of marketing. I was doing good in school, continued doing good in school. And I'm doing excellent in the public relations aspect of it, right? So joined a few more committees outside of public relations, because, you know, it's good to explore and see if you would like anything else. Because if I didn't explore, I wouldn't know I like PR or social media or marketing. So it's good to test the waters in other areas, right? So eventually right now I am working at a PR agency. I'm currently working at a marketing and PR agency, right? And it's a very good job. And I must say 3 or 4 years ago, I could never see myself working in any marketing agency or in a PR agency. But thanks to my UWI experience and what I've been going through and what I've learned at UWI, it has helped to shape me into this person that can now take on something such as marketing or PR. So I say that to say that when you get here, test the waters, try new things, right? Not to say if you want to become a doctor and you're dedicated to become a doctor, I'm not trying to say switch because all of a sudden you like something else. And that goes for law or anything else. I'm not saying immediately switch. What I'm saying is, if you have the opportunity to test somewhere else, take that opportunity. You don't know what doors it may open, right? So join a club, because you could be in medical sciences or faculty of law, sci-tech, humanities, and you join a club that has nothing to do with that faculty. You can join the AXI club, the philosophy club. You get me? And you might find that you love that. So you won't necessarily switch from your major or change your career path, but you will test something else that you will like, right? And eventually, I mean, while at UWI, I can tell you, you'll be rough in terms of, especially if you're someone who has to fend for yourself, you can be rough financially. So while you're chasing that main goal, which would be a doctor or a lawyer, you can learn new skills that can help you to get jobs while you're here at UWI. So you can help to finance yourself while at UWI, right? So it's very important that you get involved and spread your wings and try new things. As I said, I'm a marketing major. It's also important to know your lecturers. When you get here, don't be shy. If you have questions, go to them, ask them. You can build good relationships with your lecturers. And that also extends beyond the classroom. You can build good relationships with members of staff in various areas. For example, me and Mr. Odein are very good friends, and he has helped me a lot in my time at UWI. So trust me when I say that it's more than just coming here, going to class and leaving. The other thing I want to tell you, networking, very important. And UE has taught me how to network. Coming to UE, I would be that person walking with my head down, nobody can face me, no one say nobody eye, just to keep it straight. And that's how I was. I would encourage you, I wouldn't say that you have to be the opposite of that, but I would encourage you to be more open to the idea of meeting new people, talking to new people in the classroom, when you meet people in your group work, a case where you join the group. All right, make we do that part here. You have the essay for do. You have the conclusion for do. You done that, then you're gone. It doesn't have to be that. Cost of with people, the people that sit, the lecturers, as I said before, the persons involved in the various activities that you plan to get involved in. Foster good relationships. I see a lot of friends here that grow up to build businesses, own businesses, and trust me, it works. I see a lot of them knowing persons who are in great places in jobs, great CEO manager roles, and it's a case where they don't have to question their skills. They have seen them 3-4 years at university, and they said, okay, I know what you're capable of. I know what you can and cannot do, and I will take the chance with you. I will give you this job because I know what to expect, right? So networking, very important. I just want to close with saying that sports as well is something that I know we're in the pandemic and that might be out of it. Sports and other activities such as arts. I know the drama society here is very good. That opens opportunities. We have a few persons who, through those routes, have surpassed just doing it for fun. We currently now have a footballer who was recently called up the national team. He will be playing his first national match for Jamaica against the United States coming up, and that's Jabari Hilton. So we've had persons going to the Olympics and the World Games as well. And a lot of them, I mean, they take the training serious, but school was always first for them. And through university and through taking on those activities, they have seen where they can further themselves in those activities as well as do well in school. So just want to say that it's more than that. We have journalists, Brittany Clark, Javon Keys. So trust me, when you get involved and learn new skills, it can go a far way. So as I said, it's not just coming to school, sitting down in your lecture class, leaving. It's a lot more than that. You're here firstly to get a degree, and then secondly, to ensure that you get a job after you get a degree. So do whatever it takes to get there, right? So I encourage you all, when you get here, hopefully you all have that intention, get involved, test the waters, learn new skills, and take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Kifo. Now, students, you have heard from the students. I don't know if Kifo has a few minutes, can stay on the chat, so you can send some questions on the chat, and Kifo, I'm sure, will respond to those. Maybe he has to go back to class or something. No, you heard that. I know many of you know the University of the West Indies. You know of the Kingston arm of the university, the campus. But the University of the West Indies Mona campus does not only have one location. We have two locations, one in Montego Bay, in Mona Western Jamaica campus in Montego Bay. And we are sure some of you might have heard, but some may not have heard it. But at that location, here are some of the programs that you can do down there. So you can study for your career if you want to have a career in accounting or in banking, digital media, human resource, international relations, psychology, among a few of them, just to name a few of them that you can do if you go to the Mona Western Jamaica campus. It's a lovely location. And if you're afraid of large spaces, then you can go. That's a smaller space than here at the Kingston campus. And I'm sure you will enjoy your stay, whichever of the locations you go. But Mona Western is one of them that we want to introduce you to. So think about it. You're in the central part of the island, so it's not so far away. You can drive up north and go there, especially like persons from Alston and so on. And Christiana, you can drive and go to Montego Bay. So that's one. Now, for a more exciting part of it, you're going to be hearing from the lecturers themselves. They are going to tell you about the areas that you can study here, the degrees that you can do, the careers that you can enter. So listen up now. The first person you're going to hear from is from the Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Omar Thomas, and he's going to tell you about all those areas in engineering, the careers that you can pursue if you want to go into that field. Dr. Thomas, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm here to talk to you about preparing for your dream career, to be a problem solver. So if you're one who loves to solve problems, 9 out of 10, probably you should pick the career of engineering, all right? Engineers, essentially at the core of every engineer is a problem solver. Now, there are many different disciplines of engineering, but today I'm going to talk to you about 4 disciplines: biomedical engineers, civil engineers, electronic engineers, and electrical power engineers, and what they do. All right. So a biomedical engineer is one who design and maintain medical equipment. This person also developed treatment solutions. So there are like 2 components, one more on the medical side, but another more on the medical equipment side. All right. And I don't know if you were aware, but last year, April, a team of engineers from UWI worked on ventilators when the pandemic first hit Jamaica. So here you see Dr. Paul Aiken. He's the CEO of MonaTech Engineering, which is the commercial arm to our faculty. And he and his team worked on ventilators and other medical equipment when the pandemic first hit Jamaica. And there's an article in the Gleaner. You can look for that article there. All right, so that's biomedical engineering. Now, civil engineering, everything you see in the built environment around you, all right, associated with design, construction, and maintenance of the built environment. So you see the skyscrapers, airport, bridges, highway. Everybody probably aware of Highway 2000, right? Drainage structure, water distribution systems, and wastewater treatment system. All of that encompass civil engineering, all right? Beautiful structures. Here's a picture of Sunset Beach Resort, the water park, which I had the opportunity to work on as a young engineer. And here's the famous Highway 2000 that I'm sure you're aware of. So all of that involves civil engineering. Now, electrical power engineering. If I was to tell you which company in Jamaica hire electrical power engineering, I'm sure I would hear a shout out of those 3 letters. Now, electrical power engineering involves the study of electrical power generation, fossil fuels, renewable sources, all right? You know, the greenhouse gases is of main concern, and so we're now looking to renewable sources for energy, and we educate our students in terms of that. Graduates of our program can find employment in the areas of power system, power generation, distribution and transmission, renewable energy systems, power control. So you don't only have to work for the utility company. There are other private industries that you can work in as an electrical power engineer. Here, upper right picture is a picture of some simulation equipment in our labs that we give our students training in before they go out in the field. You see 2 men in the field. I believe they're from MonaTech Engineering, working in the field, all right? Now, last but certainly not least, we have electronics engineering, all right? Electronics engineering is a discipline in which electrical components are used to design electronic circuit, devices, and systems, all right? You can work in the area of telecommunication, All right. The two major telecommunication companies in Jamaica cannot hire enough of our graduates. There's computer engineering, instrumentation engineering, electric power control, and robotics. Robotics are a very exciting area, and it's endless in terms of opportunities you can get as it relates to robotics. Now, here are some of our students. I believe this is one of the robots they designed for IEEE competition that they participate in every year. This is a picture of one of our final year students working on her project. All right. Now we give our students hands-on project that solves real life problems. So just in case you're inclined or you want to make sure you open up the opportunity, you want to make sure, of course, you have English language, maths and physics at the CSEC level, along with 2 other subjects. Now, for persons who may be interested in going to St. Augustine, they require chemistry. We don't require chemistry at CSEC, but they do. So that's something to think about. And at the CAPE level, when you reach that state, definitely maths and physics, all right? Now, so there you have it. Engineering, if you want to be an engineer, where? At the Faculty of Engineering, UWI. I wish you guys all the best. Here ends my presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Plummer. So if you want that, Dr. Thomas, Dr. Plummer is coming after. If you want to be an engineer, where? UWI Mona or the University of the West Indies. Thank you. So all you engineers and girls can be engineers too, okay? All right. So thanks again, Dr. Thomas. We are going to invite Dr. Plummer to share about careers in the humanities and the arts.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I think it's evening or afternoon now. I'm very happy to be here. I just want to talk to you about careers coming from the Faculty of Humanities. So you decide you like literature, you love history, you love culture. What are some of the things that you can do with it? What are some of the degrees that you can pursue? Lucky for you, we have a wide array of degrees, and you're coming to a faculty that is warm, inviting, very friendly, very open, focused on communication. So we are a pioneering faculty. In fact, our current Vice Chancellor is a product of the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Now, the departments in the faculty are many. You have the Caribbean School of Media and Communication. You have History and Archaeology, the Institute of Caribbean Studies, Language, Linguistics and Philosophy, Library and Information Studies, Literatures in English, Modern Languages and Literatures, and of course, one of the most important school areas, the School of Education, for where would we be without our educators, right? Now, if you've decided that you love our faculty, so why come here? So we have a wide variety of programs. The Caribbean School of Media and Communication offers the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Animation, the Bachelor of Arts in Digital Media Production, the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Film Production, the Bachelor of Arts in Integrated Marketing Communication, and of course, finally, the Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. Now, the Department of History and Archaeology, unlike common perception that history is necessarily stuck in the past, they are very forward thinking. They're very cutting edge. They have the Bachelor of Arts in History, History and Archaeology, Geography, and a new program, History and Journalism, very, very useful if you're interested in being an investigative journalist. They also offer the brand new program, especially for those of you who are interested in working internationally in the UN, the brand new program, History and International Relations. So check it out when you're ready to apply and tell others about it, a brand new program, very competitive. Now you have the Institute of Caribbean Studies. They offer the Bachelor of Arts in Cultural and Creative Industries. This is a very good degree that offers you a wide variety of areas to work in, and we'll talk about that shortly. There's a Bachelor of Arts in Entertainment and Cultural Enterprise Management, and the Bachelor of Arts in Music and Performance Studies. Now, it's not necessarily performance, like, you're going out there and singing and dancing, but you get to make rhythms, make you know, write songs and producing. So think about it if you're interested in being a music producer. Now, you also have one of the things of other programs. So the Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy offers a BA, the Bachelor of Arts in Languages, Language Communication and Society, a very important degree when you think about how it is that we have to communicate information on COVID-19. This is a degree that provides that kind of hands-on skill that helps you to communicate effectively to a community or a society. There's a Bachelor of Arts in Linguistics, Philosophy, Linguistics and Language Education. Very useful for many of you who are interested in, say, traveling or migrating. There's also Languages and Linguistics and the Caribbean Sign Language Interpreting. Very, very useful when you think about how we have to meet our hearing impaired community during times like COVID. Now, there's also the Department of Library and Information Studies. And I want you to realize that your phone is a library, right? So I don't want you to think, okay, library, you're thinking of this dusty, abandoned place. No, libraries are kind of high-tech. No. So they offer the Bachelor of Arts in Information Studies, Librarianship, and Computer Science. Now, the Department of Literatures in English, they, again, another department, very cutting edge. They offer the Bachelor of Arts in Film Studies, Liberal Studies, Literatures in English, and of course, the new program, Writing, Literature, and Publishing. This one is very hands-on. Now, the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures offers the Bachelor of Arts in French, Spanish, and there's a minor in Japanese, Mandarin, and Korean. Now, if you're doing business or marketing, these are very useful minors to have. We are living in an age where it's very, very useful to speak any of these languages. Now, the School of Education offers several diverse programs. There's history education, literacy studies, science, mathematics, geography and social studies, language education, information technology, and computer science. And important to note is that if you're financially challenged, the government of Jamaica, they offer scholarships or grants for people who are pursuing education as a career. Now, bear in mind that you can do education, but you don't have to become a teacher. And we'll talk about that when we look at careers. Now, we also offer the Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics. Now, you can take a screenshot and look at our most recent handbook, our 2020-2021 handbook for more details on our programs. Now, the fact is that when people think of humanities and literatures and history, and they think all they can think of is, Lord, reading. I'm going to read until like I die. But no, we're not just a read it, write it place. We are pretty hands-on, and many of our programs, or should I say most of our programs, offer skills training, internship, and employment opportunities. So all the programs in Caramak offer that. Digital media production, for example, you are encouraged to create a portfolio, and you use this portfolio to actually get a job. One of my hobbies former students, for example, was hired before he even graduated because on the strength of his portfolio. In fact, you identify a company, you contact the company, and you basically give them graphic design, and if the company loves you, they keep you, like they did with both mine and his former student. So all the programs at Caramak, they are hands-on. In the Institute of Caribbean Studies, the entertainment and cultural enterprise management, music and performance studies, they're pretty hands-on. Entertainment and cultural enterprise management, you actually have to do an internship, and some students have been hired before they've even graduated based on the strength of their performance in the internship. Music and performance studies, they actually build rhythms and create rhythms and beats. So this is an important, it's very, very important that when you graduate, you have that skill. The Department of Library and Information Studies internship is at the heart of their information studies program and their librarianship, resulting in 100%, both degrees result in 100% employment rate before you even graduate sometimes. And of course, writing, literature, and publishing, by the time you finish that program, you have already published your first piece. So you can consider yourself a publisher if you do that program. Our degrees are pretty flexible. So if you love, say, marketing and you love history, hey, then the Bachelor of Arts in Culture and Creative Industries, that's the one for you. You can actually, there are different clusters or concentration. So you can actually do a business concentration. You can actually do a concentration in say something like graphics and media. Can do concentrations that are largely cultural. So again, it's up to you. Music and performance studies also offers you that blending. Literatures in English, film studies, liberal studies. With liberal studies coming on board, you'll be able to choose, say, tourism cluster, as well as say Spanish, and if you want to do history. Now that means that when you graduate, you have 3 things for the price of 1 degree. Film studies is like that as well. Writing, literature, and publishing. No, history and archaeology, history and journalism, history and international relations also are flexible and allow you to put 1 foot in one discipline, 1 foot in another. So these are pretty beneficial. In my opinion, it's value for money. The fact is that you can do almost anything with our degrees. When you think of people who are CEOs all over the world, when you look at them, and this statistics demonstrates it, 34% of them study the arts, right? And when you're looking at even members of the UK Parliament, the highest number of them, because you need to be able to think critically, spot patterns. A government career is always very useful with a degree from the arts. Now, there are many careers that you can pursue. Many different careers. You can, I just kind of group them. So you have careers in media, whether it's television, radio, cinema, newspaper, magazine, internet-based websites. You can become an advertising copywriter, animator, author, broadcast journalist, online blogger, creative writer, digital media producer, dramatist, editor, film director, journalist, news reporter, television presenter. Now, you also have careers in entertainment, communication, language, tourism, and culture. So what are some of these careers? Clearly, entertainment management, events management, event planner, interpreter, translator, linguist. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Speech writer. Don't think that politicians write their own speeches, you do. Lobbyist, actor. You can be a publisher, proofreader, tour coordinator, not tour operator and not tour guide, but tour coordinator, copyright specialist, tourism policy analyst, cultural policy analyst, music producer, music composer, sign language interpreter, talent manager, right? So these are all very, very important careers. Or you can be like our very own Delia Harris. Delia Harris did her first degree in literatures in English, moved on to communication, and now she's in cultural studies. Now, there are careers that you can pursue in education and social work. Clearly, of course, you can become a teacher, a lecturer, an educational administrator. You can be a social worker, educational consultant. Think of EduFocal and EduFocus, and many of you using online resources developed by people who have degrees in education. Can be an educational psychologist, principal, counselor, literacy specialist, training consultants. Many companies look for those. And I bet you would not think about banking and finance, but yes, human resource management, sales, they're out of our faculty as well. So take the head of human resource management for the government of Jamaica, the chief human resource officer. Her name is Sharifa Williams, and she has a degree from literatures in English. One of my former students, her degree is in integrated marketing communication, and she's an insurance broker. One of my other students is a wealth manager, and her degree was entertainment and cultural enterprise management. These degrees are very, very valuable, and they're becoming even more valuable as individuals are required to work online, and they're required to basically interface with customers, and communication is getting more and more important. You can have a degree, but how do you communicate? How do you write? Can you write reports? Can you analyze crisis situations? And so we are increasingly becoming that faculty that is getting the respect it deserves. In fact, just 2 days ago, I was contacted by a travel, a Canadian-based company requesting students from my faculty for that very reason. Now you can have careers. Now, if you're interested in, say, library and information studies, here are the wealth of careers you can pursue. You can become an academic or corporate or public librarian, business information specialist, chief information officer. Yes, that's the degree you want. Content strategist, information manager, data mining specialist, corporate strategist, archivist, curator, museum worker, business information specialist, media manager, records manager, user experience designer, library. You would not, when you think of library, thinking of it as boring. Well, these are the careers that come from information management. And if you don't want to work for other people and you want to work freelance at home, you can do so from Fiverr or Upwork. As you can see here, graphic design is in demand, digital marketing, writing and translation, video and animation, lifestyle, business. The only thing that we probably, and even computer science, because if you do the education focus on computer science, there you go. And music and audio. So again, our degree translates very well to the new online working space. So the fact is that though a degree in the Faculty of Humanities and Education, we're affordable, we're student-centered, we're multidisciplinary, we're cutting edge, we're constantly revising our programs, we're constantly ensuring that our programs meet current needs. And for more information, take a screenshot. Check out our pandemic-proof careers, video on pandemic-proof careers in the humanities. And again, take a screenshot, get in touch with us, right? We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Our website is there. Send me an email. So this is our contact information. It was a pleasure talking to you today, and I really hope that you think about our faculty. We're not the boring faculty, all right? Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Plummer. Wow, students, I'm sure I bet you didn't know that you could do so many things with the arts or in the arts. So we will have available to you the link afterwards so you can visit our website, and we will send a link to your teachers so you can revisit. Now we have, if you want to become a lawyer, then this is the place to do law. And here's Mr. Murray.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about a career in law and want to become a lawyer. So for now, I know you're probably just watching TV and seeing some, persons in the courtroom defending persons who are probably perceived to be criminals. So here are some options for you in law. We have criminal law, we have commercial law, litigation, family lawyer. You can be an entertainment lawyer, you can become a paralegal, you can work in the immigration field, you can work in intellectual property, just to name a few. Now, one of the good things about doing law at the UWI Mona is that you have an automatic spot in the only law school that is in Jamaica. So after you finish law at UWI Mona, you're not yet a lawyer, you just have a law degree. And so you will need to go to law school to sit the Legal Education Council exams, the LECs, and you have an automatic spot at that law school if you do law at the UWI Mona. Now, law is very competitive. And contrary to popular belief, you might hear, oh, you have to do only the arts to get in. No. We take students from various disciplines. We take students who do a mixture of subjects. So whether you want to do the sciences, whether you want to do a mixture of the sciences and business, or mixture of sciences and arts, the arts alone, the arts and sciences, that's okay. What we want, competitive grades. So here you can see the subject requirement. You can see that you need a minimum of 5 subjects. English language is compulsory, and you're going to need 2 double units of CAPE, which means you must do 6th form or must go to college to do 2 double units of CAPE to be eligible for law. 3 years at the faculty, then 2 years at MonaMedia Law School. After that, you are an attorney at law. So ensure you law at the UWI Mona. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. And so students, you know that you can do law, and one of the good things, it doesn't restrict you to the subject. So if you love the sciences, do the sciences, because you can have sciences and do law. So we are going to continue now with our program. So all those persons who want to go and do something in the medical sciences faculty, something in the medical area, not necessarily become a doctor, but you want to do something in medicine, you know, especially at this time, you want to help people, you love people. So I'm going to invite Dr. Jones. Dr. Theon Jones is a dental educator, and he also heads the history at the University of the West Indies. So here's Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, we're not hearing you if you're speaking.
Yes. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the presentation from the Faculty of Medical Sciences. I want to pause to welcome all the students from Alphonsus Davis High, Christiana High, Homewood Technical, and Knox College High. Our presentation is entitled, So You Want to Be A, and we leave you to fill in the blanks. So for all the programs in the Faculty of Medical Sciences, of which we have 7, all of them focus on developing competency, making you good at what you plan to do. We look at 3 main areas. We have a foundation of theory, then labs and preclinical practice, and then using clinical rotations, clinical practice, and internship to develop your competencies. As was shared in some of the other programs, simulation has become a major part in developing these competencies, where we use mannequins, we use what I call simulated equipment and instruments to develop your competency in whatever area you choose. One of the key components of all the programs is you must pass every course in each year to move to the next year. And then upon completion, you can pursue postgraduate programs, or you can enter the public or private sector where you can work for yourself or work with a team of colleagues. In some programs, you have a licensing exam to do, example, dentistry, in order for you to practice in your profession. So, who are we looking for? We want all our applicants to be professional. We want you to be ethical, competent, and empathetic. And the stress, especially in times of COVID-19, is on empathetic. We need you to understand what your patient is going through so you can help them through it. We also want applicants who display good manners, who are respectful, and who are caring. If you have these attributes already, that's great. We will just develop them further. And the reason is we patients need persons who will take care of them, who have good manners, who are respectful, and who are caring. And finally, we want applicants who are hardworking, because we have a lot of work for you to do to get through our programs. We need you to be diligent. We need you to be focused on your program and not be distracted by things that are happening around you. We need to be self-motivated. We need it to be balanced. Mrs. Bolero Horton mentioned it before. We need you to have a balance between academics and your extracurricular. Those who have extracurricular with them when they apply have a better chance of getting through than those who just went to school and got their subjects. So let us go through the different programs and you help you to choose if you want to be one of these with us. So our first program, our flagship program, not just for the faculty, but for the university, is our physicians program. It's for 5 years, broken down into 2 stages, a preclinical stage and then a clinical stage. The first 2 years, you spend doing a lot of theoretical subjects, and then in the last 3 years, you spend on different rotations. Upon exit, you will get a Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery degree. You have to do a mandatory internship in order to qualify to be a physician with the Medical Council of Jamaica. You have opportunity for travel during the program because in your elective periods, you can take a course in another country, in another university, and you can get to travel. And again, for work, you can either work for yourself, work with other colleagues, or you can join the public sector, or you can do both. So this is one of our medical students, and just to make the point that you can also, if you're in student leadership now, whether you're on student council, Interact Club, Key Club, you can always join the Medical Students Association and follow your path towards administration and leadership in medicine. And this is an example of one of our labs, one of our lecturers with a group of medical students looking at the different bones of the body. So our second program is the nursing program. It's a 4-year program, again, broken down into a preclinical and a clinical stage. Your exit award is a Bachelor of Nursing degree. Yes, you have an internship in the various hospitals. Opportunity for travel, not to the best of my knowledge, during the program. But as you know, our nurses are valued all over the world. And as soon as they graduate, there's some overseas hospital who is waiting outside the assembly hall or the tent where we have our graduation, ready to offer them a job overseas. And again, you can work in the private sector or the public sector. Here are 2 of our nurses who these won the annual nursing award, Student Nurse of the Year award. And again, you can join the Student Nursing Association if you're interested in administration and leadership. Our third program is our physical therapist program. It is 3 years. At the end, you get a Bachelor of Science in Physical Therapy. Yes, you have an internship. Yes, you have opportunity to travel because you can do electives in other countries. And yes, you can work in both the private and the public sector. The physical therapy program is one of our regional programs. It is the only one in the Caribbean. So we attract students from all over the Caribbean. So you'll be going to school with other students from the other Caribbean countries, as well as international students. And here again, they have their own association, the Physical Therapy Students Association. So again, if you're interested in leadership, you can join their association. Our next program is our Research Scientist program. It is the only non-patient care program, but if you're interested in research and landing the latest invention, latest new equipment, this is where you want to go. The program is for 3 years. In year 1, everybody does similar courses, but in year 2 and 3, you can break out into an anatomy stream where you want to specialize in studying the body. You can break out into a biochemistry stream, and you can break out into a physiology stream. You get a Bachelor of Science degree at the end. There's no internship. Many of the graduates of this program will enter into some of our other programs, especially our undergraduate medical program. No opportunity for travel during the program, but upon graduation, you can work in the private and public sectors here and overseas. And here are 2 of our research scientists in one of our labs. There's another scientist, and they too have their own students association, which you can join. Okay, our 5th program that we have is our radiographer program, or better known now as our diagnostic imaging program. It is for 3 years. Exit award is a Bachelor of Science in Diagnostic Imaging. You have an internship that you have to do in one of the hospitals across the island. You do get to travel. They have an overseas elective, which is mandatory, and it's during one of their summer breaks. And yes, you can work in both the private and the public sector. Okay, here is 2, the more lecturers looking at an X-ray, and they too have their student association. Sixth program is in dentistry. It's a 5-year program, both like the medical program, broken down into 2 stages, a preclinical and a clinical stage. The preclinical stage is for 2 years and the clinical rotations are for 3 years. Your exit award is a Doctor of Dental Surgery degree. Internship is optional because once you pass your licensing exam, you are free to practice in the private sector or the public sector. But if you want to stay in the public sector, we would recommend you doing the internship there and then joining them. There's opportunity for travel in the elective periods. You can travel anywhere in the world in one of them. We have had students who have gone all the way to Germany to do their elective. And you can work again in both the private and the public sector. This is an image of one of our students practicing sign language. Sign language is a mandatory course for us. So here the student is practicing on a patient who is also the tutor. And they too have their own association, which if you become a dental student, you would join. And our final program is our clinical pharmacist program. It is our newest program. All the programs have been listed in order of age, oldest being first. It is a 5-year program in which you get a Doctor of Clinical Pharmacy degree at the end. Yes, you have an internship period. You also have an opportunity for travel, and you can work both in the private and public sector. And these were the first set of graduates from the Doctor of Pharmacy program, and they too have their own student association. So what we want you to do is to follow your passion. It's not about money, it's about passion. If you follow your passion, success will follow you. And if you follow your passion, you live out your true purpose in life and not one that somebody has given you to follow. So we want you to know your passion, follow it, dream it, and live it. Because if you choose a job you love, you never have to work a day in your life. So Confucius is Chinese, and we close with Domo arigato, which is Japanese for thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Muchas gracias, señor.
De nada.
Okay. Now, students, as he said that, you see that you can do Chinese, Japanese, French, and so on at the UE. And now we're going to look at those, you normally call them business-related programs. I'm going to invite Miss Tashika Taylor to just share with you quickly about some of the areas and careers in those areas. Miss Taylor.
Thank you, Mrs. Horton. Good afternoon, everyone. So like Mrs. Horton alluded to, when we think about social sciences, we usually think about business, right? But social sciences is not just about business, ladies and gentlemen. So the social sciences is the field of study that focuses on relationships between individuals and society, how different societies function, how culture is created. We look at things such as political systems, how we think and behave as people. Why do we do what we do? So the social sciences is much more than just business. The Faculty of Social Sciences at the university is the largest faculty. We have approximately 40% of the total student body. And like I said, it's not just business. So we have departments. We have the Department of Economics, the Department of Government, Mona School of Business and Management. So you get in that business. And we also have the Department of Sociology, Psychology, and Social Work. You're seeing on screen some of the careers that are aligned with the degrees that are offered in the Faculty of Social Sciences. So, for example, if you do an economics or statistics degree, you can become a banker, you can become an economist, you can become a data analyst, an investment analyst, a financial planner, statistician, a market researcher, a business analyst, a data scientist. If you do a degree in, say, political science, or international relations, or public policy and management, some of the careers that are aligned with those degrees. You can become a diplomatic officer, a politician, of course. You're seeing our very own Prime Minister on screen. He actually did his degree in the Faculty of Social Sciences on campus. You can also become a public opinion researcher, a pollster. You can become a political scientist, a public administrator. You can become a campaign manager, an intelligence specialist. If you look at doing degrees such as the business degrees now, the human resource management, the management studies, the marketing, the operations management, the tourism management, the accounting, the banking and finance. Some of the career fields that are aligned with those degrees are accountant, a business manager, of course, an entrepreneur, a production manager, an internal auditor. You can be a business consultant, a hotel manager or a resort manager, human resource manager, marketing manager, a budget analyst, a client services manager. And these are just a few. If you do, say, a degree in psychology, sociology, or social work, or demography or anthropology, some of the careers that would be aligned with those particular degrees are a psychologist, social researcher, a training specialist, a demographer, policy officer. You can become a social and community service manager. You can become an anthropologist, of course, a market researcher, a census researcher, a social worker, a travel writer, a sociologist. So those are just a few of the options that are associated, a few of the career options that are associated with pursuing degrees in the faculty or through the Faculty of Social Sciences. The requirements for entry, you need to have at least five CSEC subjects. English language is compulsory, and so is mathematics. Mathematics is also compulsory, so you must have those. And you will also need to have 2 double units of CAPE subjects. And most of the programs offered through the faculty will be 3 years full-time. So those are just a few of the options and a few of the career fields that are aligned with the Faculty of Social Sciences. I implore you to do a little bit more research and see whether your place to shine will be the Faculty of Social Sciences. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. And I'm going to ask Ms. Taylor to put in the chat for you the quick reference guide, which will give you a whole list of all the other areas that you can do in the social sciences. Now, I know there are some excited persons there who are wondering, UWI doesn't offer sciences. Yes, we do. So we have the Faculty of Science and Technology, and we have with us today Dr. Andre Coy, and Dr. Coy is going to share with you about all those exciting areas in the sciences and technology at this time. Dr. Coy?
Good morning, Ms. Bolero-Houghton. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's afternoon now, right?
Yes.
It's a real pleasure to be here. And I'm hoping to share with you some of the exciting offerings that we have in the Faculty of Science and Technology. Am I able to share screen? I am.
Yes, but we're not seeing it yet.
Okay. I thought it was going to be done for me. My apologies. So you would have heard, students, about all of the wonderful offerings of the UWI so far. And I envy you because I am now at a place where I'm unlikely to be switching careers. But I know that there are so many exciting things happening out there. And if I were a student now, I would have so many options that I would be quite happy to go across faculties and to do some sciences and to do some languages and some business, because the opportunities for using all of these different parts of your experience are great. They're necessary and they're important. So why should you choose Faculty of Science and Technology? Well, you'd have heard Dr. Pnoma talking about pandemic-proof careers. The sciences are among those. Many other things that you'd have heard of happening during the pandemic, the developing of the vaccine, the tracking of COVID-19 patients, the statistics involved with all of that, those are done by scientists. And it's quite natural that you would need to have this kind of expertise during an event such as this. So a career in the sciences and technology is a career that is quite often pandemic proof. It's often recession proof. You find that science careers are growing at a rate higher than non-science careers worldwide. And so you find that jobs in the sciences, jobs in STEM are becoming far more popular, far more necessary for our increasingly digital and online world. But if you were thinking about being altruistic, if you want to be giving back to this world, to your country, then sciences are the way to help the country to grow and to develop and to be a first world nation, to be as impactful on the world stage as we can possibly be. So there are a number of reasons to choose to study the sciences. You'll have gone through all the matriculation information earlier. One thing I want to highlight is that you can actually start UE right after doing your CSEC courses. You can come to the Faculty of Science and Technology after passing your CSEC science subjects. So if you don't want to go to sixth form, or if you do go to sixth form or community college and you don't get the CAPE subjects that you really wanted to get, then don't fear. You can still come in to the Faculty of Science and Technology and be a part of that wonderful faculty. You will take an extra year where we will build you up to the place where you have the knowledge and the capacity and the experience that you'd have had if you had gone and done CAPE, and then you go on to do the regular 3-year degree. So please bear that in mind. You can come to the Faculty of Science and Technology right after fifth form. If you go through and complete your CAPE subjects, then you can come straight in and do our 3-year degree and be out of the UE within the 3 years at a minimum. Now, I'll take you through the programs in the faculty. And usually what I would do would be to focus on both the degrees and the careers. But today, I'm going to be spending a little bit more time on the careers because we want to tell you about all the exciting things that you can do once you've studied and earned a degree from the Faculty of Science and Technology. So the first thing we'll be talking about is biochemistry. Biochemistry is the area that combines both chemistry and biology. And with biochemistry, you're exploring all the chemical processes within organisms and related to organisms. Now, you hear all these big words and you'll wonder, okay, what am I actually doing with this? Well, a biochemist is the kind of person who would have been working on developing the COVID vaccine, for instance. So the people who would have looked at the vaccine, identified the nature of the vaccine, seen where it is vulnerable to attack, seen where it is vulnerable for the use of a vaccine, and then went away and developed that vaccine. Those people in large part will be biochemists. So you can work in that area, and don't think that you can't work in Jamaica as a biochemist, because we do have biochemistry labs here. You will find that there are biochemistry labs in Kingston, where you'll have a branch of the Caribbean, CARFA. I don't remember exactly what CARFA means, but essentially what they're looking at in CARFA are organisms, diseases, and things of that nature that biochemists will specialize in. If you want to become a forensic scientist, biochemistry is very useful for that. If you're interested in developing medicines for the brain, medicines for with anti-cancer properties, biochemistry is going to help you with that. But even if you're interested in food science, you can use your biochemistry. You can work at one of our many food service companies. You can look to work at one of our own producing factories. Biochemistry covers a broad spectrum of careers, and there are great possibilities for you, even if you decide to stay here in Jamaica. So don't be daunted. Don't feel that you have to go abroad if you study these things. You can study and work right here in Jamaica using your biochemistry. But if you want to do chemistry, straight chemistry, well, by now you would know that chemistry looks at substances, the properties of these substances, how they combine with others, how they separate from others, how they interact with energy. And we offer a number of degrees in chemistry, and you can read all of them here. Take a screenshot if you want to keep a record of it. But once you've studied all of these things, what are you going to do with your chemistry? You could become a professional chemist. So you're going to be working in chemical companies. In Jamaica, there are loads of chemical companies. The bauxite companies employ chemists. The sugarcane factories, they employ chemists. The food production companies, they employ chemists. The people in the marine labs employ people who have studied chemistry. Forensic labs, they employ people who have studied chemistry. If you want to teach chemistry, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to teach chemistry at a high level at a teacher's college or a university, then you can study more chemistry and become a lecturer in chemistry. But if you want to do something that would seem almost way out of left field, you could become a quality manager. Right? So somebody who goes around and ensures that the products that are being put on our shelves, the products that are being imported are of the right quality, are of the right standard. They're not going to harm our population. They are what they say they are, right? So they offer what is a quality manager is somebody who is going to be able to look at that and to determine if the product is actually doing what it says it should do. Computing, computing is something that is indispensable in our world today. Every mobile phone uses computer programs. Every computer has to run on software that is developed for it. And your tablets, your smartwatches, the pacemaker that maybe someone in your family or your friend has that's driving their heart. Those use computer programs that are written by people who have done computing. If you are thinking about working in a telecommunications company, if you're working in banks, sometimes you need computing depending on which part of the bank you work in. So computing offers a large number of opportunities for people who are interested in working in development of products that are useful for running our digital life. So the computing that we teach at the university looks at the ways to manage and process and communicate information. We're not just looking at computing from a hardware perspective, but also from a software perspective. And there's nothing you can do nowadays that's pretty much useful without using computing. So we're looking at software engineering, computer analysts, video game designers, network administrators, web developers, mobile app developers. So you can see here the great possibilities that exist. Right? We spoke about, Dr. Plummer spoke about animation. You can take it to the next level of animation to create the engine that is going to drive the animation. The individuals who are now becoming animators themselves will be using your software to develop their animation products. If you want to build your own video games, you can do that. If you're interested in IT security, you can take part in that. There's a new, well, relatively new scam going around, and it's once again become relevant because people are sending out these WhatsApp things where you're supposed to click on it and get some prize. The telecoms company is saying, no, that's not ours, and it's a security risk. You can become one of the persons who works to guard us against those kinds of security risks. Our software engineering program is an exciting one because you have the opportunity to go and study in China for 2 years. So you do 2 years at Mona, and then you do 2 years in Guangzhou in China, where you are able to finish your program and then get an internship at a powerful software engineering company. So you're doing actual software engineering before you get back to Jamaica. That sets you up now to work in any one of our telecommunications or power companies or banks or data analysis houses. Any one of these places that use computing knowledge, you're able to work there. But you can also set up your own business. You would have had hands-on knowledge of how these things work, experience, and you would come back far more excited about what you would have studied and engaged in than you would have ordinarily. So that's an interesting program and one that you should consider doing if you're interested in computers. Geography and geology might sound a little bit boring, but hey, it really is not, because we're looking not just at physical features of the earth and the atmosphere, but we're looking at how they impact human beings. We're looking at physical structure and substance. So all the landslides that happened late last year, a geologist will be able to tell you why these things happen and what can be done to prevent them. They can tell you, okay, don't build your house or don't build housing schemes in this area because of the geology. But even beyond that, you can have people who are looking at the environment and saying what can be done with all this sargassum that's washing up on the seashore. Let us try to predict when this sargassum is going to come. Let's try to find new ways of using it. Geographers are very important in that. Nowadays, we're talking about climate change every day. We see the results of it, and we know that we need to work to solve the problems. And if we're not going to be able to make the big changes, then we're going to have to learn to live with it. Geographers are integral in helping you to figure some of that out. Nowadays, recently, in fact, there have been volcanic activity around the world. Volcanologists can work, excuse me, to help to predict when you will have a volcano eruption, because I'm sure you know that we do have volcanoes in the Caribbean. They may not be active now, but they do exist. Then there is geographic information systems. Many people don't know that you can actually use geography to analyze what is happening in your country. So a geographic information specialist is somebody who is working with data about a particular area and then extracting from that data information that's going to help to drive policy, that's going to help, excuse me, with the development of the nation. Let me give you a for instance. Working with COVID, we found that in the first instance, there was a large outbreak in St. Thomas. The geographic information specialists were able to identify the patterns of travel from that area to say where it is likely that the next outbreak would have occurred. And they were able also to look at the demographics of the people there to see what their income levels were, how many of them would need assistance. So the government was able to then go in and target assistance to particular places. And you find that a former head of the Department of Geography was integral and still is integral in working with the government, using geographic information systems to drive the policy around COVID-19. And it's not just COVID that you can use GIS for. You can use it for agriculture. You can use it for crime fighting, for national security, and a whole host of other things. So it's a very exciting field, a lot of exciting things happening in the fields of geography and geology. Life sciences, they look at organisms. They look at life overall, from very small organisms to very large organisms. And once you've studied the life sciences, you have a wide range of careers that you can enter in. There are a few listed here, but there are far more that we could talk about. So we can look at the people who are working in the marine environment. Can you imagine swimming all day for your career? They spend time in the water. They're measuring the properties of the water, the salinity, how much salt is actually there, how much carbon dioxide is being absorbed. They're looking at how cloudy the water is. They're looking at the marine animals to see how healthy they are, how many of them there are. They're looking at the reefs to see if they're being bleached and the kinds of chemicals that are in the water. They're looking at the coastline to see if there's erosion, if climate change is causing sea level rise and threatening our low-lying communities. I've seen projections that show that if we don't do something about the marine environment and about climate change, then 3/4 of Portmore is going to be underwater in the next 20 years. Now, these people who are working as conservationists and environmental assessors and marine biologists, they play a large role in helping us to understand what we can do to mitigate against climate change. If you like working with animals, you can become an animal biologist. If you like working with insects, to determine how insects, the prevalence, the the prevalence and how widespread they are, how these insects are indicating what is happening in our environment. If you want to understand why certain agricultural products are at risk because of the lack of bees, or because of the reduction in numbers of bees, you can become an etymologist and you can help us with that. Plant biologists are helping us to figure out why we're suffering with certain diseases in plants, and how to help the farmers to prevent those diseases, and how to deal with them when they do occur. And a lot of exciting things happening in the life sciences. Mathematicians are problem solvers. So mathematicians will look at data and they will form patterns, and they'll have new thoughts about how to solve problems using what they learn in mathematics. So outside of what we understand a mathematician to do, they work as actuaries, right? They determine what insurance rates are. They determine a lot of information about, excuse me, how we are charged for certain products, certain financial products. Those are interesting and fascinating things, and very important. But you also have mathematicians who are working as data scientists, who are helping us with internet security, who are helping us with making online banking secure and easy to use. We have mathematicians who are working as cryptographers, who are helping, excuse me, to ensure that the internet is safe for everyone to use. Investment analysts, they end up on the stock market, in stockbroking houses. They end up in computer software houses, helping to develop programs that will make our lives easier, and that will help with our development. They are financial consultants. They work as management specialists, as economists. So there's a lot that mathematicians do that is outside of the ordinary things that we would think of a mathematician doing. And then we have the physicists. Physics is about how the world, how the universe works. So we ask the fundamental questions, the why and the how and the when of the universe, the big questions. We use information from quantum mechanics, which is about the very small, all the way to general relativity, which is about the very large. And we don't just stay in the lab or in the classroom. We have physicists who are working in energy and environmental physics, which is critical if we're thinking about climate change and energy security, and if we're thinking about our future on this planet. We have physicists who are working as medical physicists. They are interested in the medical field, but they don't want to become a doctor. So they are helping to develop techniques for assisting with individuals who are in need of care. So they develop devices, or they develop techniques, or they work in the field of applying radiation treatment, or of developing protocols for radiation treatment for people who are in need of that kind of care. We have biomedical instrumentation specialists, people who are building equipment that the doctors use and that patients can use in their recovery. Novel ways of drug deployment, novel ways of drug investigation. Physicists are working as climate scientists who also understand electronics, because we have a strong electronics program in the Department of Physics. So we combine it with other areas so that you now have expertise that is across the board. You will know about the climate sciences, and you will also understand electronics. So you can build systems that monitor the climate. You can work on systems that your company or that your organization that you will create, your business that you will create, these equipment that you buy, and you would ordinarily have to call in a consultant to look at it. No, you'll have the expertise to look at it yourself, and your colleagues will also be able to work on that, those that you hire into your company. If you're interested in alternative energy systems, if you think about Wigton, they have people who work on alternative energy systems. They know how the wind turbines work, and they can help to tell you how much wind is going to be generated. But when it breaks, they can't fix it. If you work on electronics, if you study electronics and alternative energy systems, you can both determine how the wind turbine works, and as well as how to fix it, as well as how to maximize it. You can understand the latest new technology that will come in and you can even develop new systems yourself. And of course, electronics and computer science. If you do that, you have power that is untold, because not only are you savvy in software systems, but you're savvy in hardware systems. So Daniel was talking about telehealth. You can develop systems that are going to assist Jamaica to move forward in the realm of telehealth. So your grandmother doesn't have to pay a taximan to come and collect her to come to clinic, because her vital statistics can be measured and monitored by a doctor. And a doctor can say, okay, well, maybe you need to come in next month because these aren't looking so good. But at another time, they can say, okay, you don't have to come to the appointment because we have monitored this and we can see that you don't need to come in. Or telecommunications companies need people who have these skills. In fact, they grab them up as soon as they're finished their degrees. Sometimes they take them while they're on internship. So there's a whole lot being offered in the Faculty of Science and Technology. And there is so much that you can do for yourself and for your country when you study science and technology. So I am encouraging you to give science another look. It's not only for those people who you might think are super bright, or it's not only for those people who you might think are nerds. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot that can be done for you when you come into the Faculty of Science and Technology. So I encourage you to think about science as a career and think about doing the subjects that will prepare you to take on this exciting new chapter of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Coy. Students, I bet you didn't know that you could do so many things in the sciences. So many career areas are open to you. So we invite you to consider those areas. Now we have University of the West Indies has taken a lot of time. We're going to ask you to just take a screenshot. We normally talk to you about this part of it because you have to think about financing your university degree, even while you think about the subject. So just take a picture of this, or we'll be sending the slides also to your teachers. Take a picture of this, and so you can go back and look at ways you can fund your university education. At this time, I want to recognize Alston High School as well, because they are in the chat here too. We want to thank the principal of Knox, Mr. Alexander Bourne, and the vice principal, Mrs. Erica Utah, at our host school, Alphonsus Davis High School. Principal and vice principal, we really want to thank you for joining us here now. This is the end of the UE segment. There are more things because we have sport, a faculty of sport, you can study that, but we won't be able to do that just now because we have our colleague from Heart Trust who has been waiting with us, and we know you want to hear from him as well. So I'm going to hand over here our contacts, Bolero Horton, that's myself, Miss Taylor is here, you heard from Mr. Murray, and Miss Tennant for Western Jamaica. So you can take a picture again of this one, and you can write us if you have other questions. We are going to go to the chat now. Mrs. Wisdom, may I hand over to you now so you can introduce your our next presenter.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Horton and her team for the contribution that you made. And I'm hoping that the students would have learned something and be ready to make informed choices. At this time, I will ask Mr. Ralston Coke, the Male Guidance Counselor at Alphonsus Davis High School, to introduce to you all the presenter for the next area.
Thank you, Mrs. Wisdom. Let me say good afternoon to all the various presenters and students, the number of staff members from the UWI who have done such a tremendous job. So much information in such a short time. But just now, the task is mine to introduce to you our next presenter. He was born in the parish of Kingston, St. Andrew, and later moved to Manchester, where he developed the love and passion for teaching. Guided by the words of Aristotle, the one exclusive sign of thorough knowledge is the power of teaching, end of quote. His educational background has led him through secondary education studies, business management, and clinical studies. His purpose is to serve others from all walks of society. His 12 years experiences in the classroom had led him in primary, secondary, and tertiary level as a teacher and lecturer. He is currently the Career Services Officer for Region 4, St. James Heart National Service Training Agency, that is Heart NSTA Trust, which comprises of St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. He is a trained teacher, instructor, counselor, and motivational speaker, trainer of trainers, career consultant, and most of all, a servant of God. He currently serves as member of the TVET UNIVA, that is Executive Committee for Jamaica. His philosophy is the moment you stop trying to become a better person is the moment you start to become worse than what you already are, end of quote. The only thing standing between you and your dream is reluctance. His future passion is the continuous development and shaping of individuals in society in making Jamaica a great nation. I introduce to you Mr. Damian Francis. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, all the individuals on the virtual or in the virtual world who are logging to one of the most interesting series ever to be happening in Jamaica, a UE Heart NSTA kind of dialogue or clash of career kind of segment. I love the presentations that took place earlier, and of course, we see where there are several options that is presented to our student populace that they can acquire while they are actually in the position to choose. With me this afternoon, of course, we have our team, and I'll introduce them quickly, and we will allow Mrs. Myrie, that's Shauna Newsom-Myrie, who is my regional director for Region 4, who will just give you an overview of what Heart is really about and the excitement of why you should move into your TVET career choice, because in any developing country, we know that the technical skills and expertise are needed to make the country improve and to sustain itself how it ought to. So we have Mrs. Myrie, who's our director. We have Mrs. Henry, who is one of the CSOs, the Career Services Officer for Hanover. We have Mr. Adrian Smith, who is the Guidance Counselor, Career Counselor for HCIT, that's Heart College of Innovation and Technology, who will tell you later on all about the programs in that institution. So I'm going to turn over to my regional director as she will give you a synopsis as it relates to Heart and the new NSTA Trust.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, students. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here with you this afternoon and to share in this exciting program that you have. It's in a time when we are faced with so much uncertainties as it relates to this pandemic, and we look ahead and we wonder what are going to be the new opportunities that present themselves. Want to also extend heartiest greetings to our colleagues from the UWI who have been sharing information as it relates to career opportunities that is offered through UWI. Heart Trust NSTA has been in existence for over 30 years as the national training agency offering career opportunities in the technical field in terms of TVET for many, many years. I've been working with the Trust for over 21 years. And Having gone through academia and having to come to work in TVET, I can truly tell you that having a skill is very important. One of our past ED had the mantra where he said that skill is power. And from time to time, we have proven it. And even now, as the world turns, as we look into this whole new economy, as we look into this whole new technological space, we can now see that having a skill is very important. We've seen different countries. Singapore, for example, came to Jamaica, adopted our model in terms of TVET and implemented it in their country, and it turned the economy right around. And so we know that there are many benefits to TVET. I've had the opportunities to study different models across the world, look at the British model, I've looked at the Chinese model as it relates to TVET integration in terms of using it as a career choice to move and to turn the economy. And so it's an area where I would say that every single Jamaican, it doesn't matter what career field you're getting yourselves into, need to have a skill. Especially now in time like this, where we are so reliant on technology, almost every skill area that you can find, you are now going to need some amount of skills training. And the truth is, many students have passed through my hands, having served as a director for the Runaway Bay campus, having served at various campuses across Hearts. I can tell you that persons who embrace skills training, who have identified their talent, and who have found their passion and make it a lifelong career really benefits from it. And I always say that from where I sit as an administrator, persons who have skill command so much more where they work. I'll give you an example. A plumber came to my house a few weeks ago, and I had some leaking pipes, and he told me to purchase stuff, came to $1,000, and then he typed in less than 15 minutes, and he charged me $10,000 for the service. And I'm saying, where could I sit at my desk and earn that kind of money without a skill? And so skills is very important. It is really what is going to drive our economy forward. And as Heart has restructured, we have merged with the National Youth Service, we have merged with the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning and the National Apprenticeship Board. It has now repositioned us in each parish where we can be now more accessible to all Jamaicans. So in each parish, we would have a team serving that particular parish, which allows us to leave no one behind. And with the merger, it provides a seamless pathway for individuals to access training at any level, doesn't matter where you find yourself. So if it is at the remedial level, the opportunity is there for us to take you through that phase into a skills training program up to the level where you can become a master of your craft. And so as you think about your career choices, you know, a lot of times we tend to only think of becoming doctors and lawyers and teachers and so on. But how can you integrate your skill? Box. Look to see what are the emerging skills, what are the areas that persons are now being employed in. Do your research. You know, I was doing some research the other day for a presentation that I was doing, and as I looked at the emerging skills in the US and in other parts of Europe, I am not seeing the regular skill sets. I'm seeing areas as it relates to robotics. I'm seeing area as it relates to digital animation, seeing areas as it relates to all of those technological and technical areas. And so as you think about your career choices, don't just think about another occupation, but think about a career that you will have a passion for, a career that you will love, a career that will also provide you with employment at the end of your training. And a career too, if it is that you really want to get into medicine or you want to get into those other academic fields, which also have a technical and a practical component. You may also want to think about getting a skill before getting into those programs, because it provides you with an opportunity to be employed while you study, so that you can actually achieve your career goals. And so I want to encourage you to get a skill. Come on board. Heart is here to provide that opportunity for you. And I can guarantee you that with a skill, you can never lose. I'll hand it over back now to Damien. So all the best as you go through the rest of your program and as you seek to make that lifelong decision to choose your career and become a lifelong learner.
And there we have it. Of course, this is skill is power. And what better way to actually move into all the offerings that we have in this organization? I can tell you this, most student, you probably sitting in your zone and probably wondering, how am I going to do all of this? How am I going to get there? And knowing the fact that these persons don't understand my circumstances, they don't even understand my living situation. How do I get onto all that you are saying about just the skill is power, about the academics? But we are saying that you have the ability in you to become all that you want to become. A matter of fact, I want to just remind you about something. You should not be so concerned about the beginning of how you started. You should now be focusing, how am I going to end my journey? How am I going to get there? And how I'm going to sit back and relax and says the decisions that I've made some years ago was the right decision, because I'm now into my future. And that's what this is all about. It's not just to showcase that we have several programs to give you. It's not just to showcase that we have all the opportunities out there, but it's to let you understand that you were created for a purpose. You were created to fulfill that purpose, and you are going to transit and transform your new approach, and you're going to move into the you. Because here's it. I want you to take over my job. I want you to take over all the professors' jobs. I want you to take over my regional director job. I want you to be the next leader who will go out there and help to change the world. But you can only do that if you start believing in who you are, whose you are, and how you're going to get there. So we are saying at Heart NSTA, listen, stop worrying about not being able to. We have skills that you can go on. We have what we call on-the-job training. And on-the-job training means we're working and studying. So at the same time, we're saying, you staying home and say you don't have the money to go here and to go there. We're saying, let's give you the experience of having on-the-job experiences and also getting the academics or the theoretical knowledge to function. So within Heart, we says we have the School Leavers Training Opportunity Program. Within that program, guess what? We are saying to every one of you, you need to come and apply by simply getting CXC, because you have to have CXC to be on the School Leavers Training Opportunity Program. And we're saying, while you focus on your CXC, whether it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we are saying, come, let us give you an opportunity not to sit down and add to statistics of being on the street corner, add to statistic of being in the bar, behind the bars, or adding to statistic of digging out your hand middle, or adding to statistic of becoming a father or mother too early. But we're saying, let us expose you into a career area that will draw your interest, into a career area that will boost you to want more. Earlier, I heard one of the presenter talk about stop worrying about going to our work, but go to your passion that will make you want to be there. So we're saying on the job, we allow you to select from the business sector. We allow you to select from the educational sector. We allow you to select from the hospitality sector, and any area that you so desire, we're saying come and do it. And then we have what we call the Registered Apprenticeship Program. Within the Registered Apprenticeship Program, you still have to be qualified. We're saying do the CXC or whatever subject area, but we're saying just in case. And here's the thing, students. Don't think because I don't have the CXC means that I'm not intellectual enough. It could mean that based on my situation, I couldn't afford to pay for it. And Heart is saying, instead of blaming yourself because of your situation, let me uplift you and give you an opportunity to come in and start something. So we said, come on one of the programs. So the on-the-job program, Register Apprenticeship Program, you register, you apply, you get in, you're orientated, and you're into your business of your career. So you'll be able to go into any field that you so desire of becoming. And you'll be working in those fields for a year. Did you know that within the year, we can give you up to a diploma? How does that work? So we are saying that, yes, come and get your level 2 certification, which will be done probably about the first 4 months. And after that, you are going to do your diploma, which will, within that year, you would have had a diploma in business administration or secretarial or accounting, or it could be hospitality, whether it's going to be commercial food, whether it's food and beverage, whatever field that you would have applied for. And can I tell you the secret? You don't have to pay for it. In other words, you are sponsored because somebody believes in you and says, here's an opportunity that I want to give to you so you can contribute to society and contribute well. So there's no reason for you to say, sir, ma'am, I cannot, because there is more to you than you can ever imagine. So we have the on-the-job training. By the way, let me tell you, because sometimes you don't believe what the presenter said. We have a trainee here, and the trainee, you know, Altonia, she has been on the RAP program, and she had a story. Let you tell you in 3 minutes. Miss Altonia.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Damian Francis, for introducing me. My name is Altonia Hilton, and I am on the RAP program. I am a proud student of Heart NSTA Trust, and I am on the RAP program. My journey has been wonderful, great, exceptionally well. During high school, I did not know where and how I wanted to continue my studies, and we had a fair at school where Heart was there. And I got the opportunity to speak to our representative who enlightened my darkness about a lot of stuff that I did not know about Heart. I went ahead and I signed up for the registered apprenticeship program, and I was called to bring all my documents. I was orientated, and then I started to work and to go to school a month after. I just finished my level 2, and I'm now preparing myself for the diploma. And then I'm going to move up to the degree, and one day I shall be employed here, because Heart is I love this organization so much because I was welcomed, I was grabbed, I was hugged, I was loved here. I never felt this way at any institution that I've went to, never. I must say that a lot of persons don't understand that the NVQG or TVET is the same thing as going to a regular college, or even better. It is an exceptional experience, and I will encourage everyone to go and to be a part of Heart, to apply for the RAP program, the SL Top, Registered Apprenticeship Program, and the School Leavers Program. It has been an exceptionally great experience. I love it here, and thank you.
All right, so who says that you can't? Who says that you don't have the potential to be everything that you should be? Who tell you that you're no good? Who tell you that you can't make it? Nobody. You see, the thing about it, we are fearful of our own self because sometimes we're our own cowards. Sometimes we are afraid to step out because we don't want to be alone. So we said people are going to look at us. So the information you have of Heart NSTA is for persons who are not so brilliant. But that's not true. The information I'm giving you about Heart is that if you want to be successful and be competent, to be able to function in a job, you need to think about Heart. And I'm not joking. And not because I work with you. Can I tell you that when I was going to school, I love foods. But the teacher put me into some other areas because they think I have the brain of other areas. So they filtered me into those areas. So I end up now have to study harder than the students who really have the passion for the sciences. But I wanted to go into, can you imagine if I was a chef? Can you imagine? I would be the world's greatest chef. So Heart has its hospitality in the areas. So you can move from commercial food preparation to sous chef. You can move from sous chef to what we call tour guide in front office, mixologist. As a matter of fact, you can develop your own recipe. Huh? So you become all you want to. If you like to serve, you can become a server or a hostess. You have the ability to do something. You don't have to sit down and says, nothing, go on. Because heart agwan and things are happening. Did you know that people who have skills make more money than us who sit in the office or lecture? They make the money. So I'm saying, students, stop limit yourself and narrow your mind to that I have to be a doctor or a lawyer. Yes, we need doctors and lawyers, but we need technicians to provide things for the doctors and lawyers to use. So we are saying, get into that mind where you become excited about your career, where you become excited about where you go into the future. So if you don't like the food or the hospitality industry, and there are several areas on the hospitality field, but if you don't like it and you're more into the business, then of course heart will allow you to have your same accounting and secretarial and administrative areas. So you can study all of those in any of our institutions. You want to be an accountant, go for it. You want to do food processing, go for it. You want to do agriculture, go for it. You want to be an allied health or practical nursing, go for it. Anything that you decide you want to do, Heart is saying we're here. And what we're saying is that we know that based on the economic system, based on what is happening, that it's difficult sometimes for many of us to find the money, but we are saying we will pay your way through. And we're not stopping you at a level 2. We're not stopping you at a diploma. We're not stopping you at an associate. We are moving all the way into a first degree TVET. We got international now. And we're saying that with everything that, even if you decide to go to UE, and even if you decide to go to NCU, even if you decide to go to UTech, make sure that you carry along with you a skill. Because without a skill, you see, COVID had caused a whole lot of change, you know. Did you know that I become a backyard farmer because of COVID? I didn't even know that I have any knowledge about farming. But then COVID forced me into getting the knowledge and going to the practical field. So now I don't have to run to the market every time. I run to the backyard to pick what I want to cook. So I get it fresh, thanks to COVID. So we are saying that you have to find some innovative ways to become better. So Heart is saying we're giving an opportunity. You have to be 17. You have to have a TRN, because that's how we actually take you into the process. If you don't have the subjects because you're in school, we're saying you must have the subject. Here's the thing, how education works and how the chain works. Now, Heart is not just empowering you at your young age, but we're saying if you see where mommy and daddy and grandma and everybody within your community who seems that they never really make it because of whatever reason, you can say, mommy, come with me. Daddy, come with me. Grandma, come with me. You can fulfill your career desire even at this age. So Heart take you from 17 to 100. So it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, we're saying, come and make the application. You see, we have what we call now Heart on the Go. That's an app. Everybody have a smartphone, not true? So we have a smartphone. What do you do with your smartphone? What do you do when you go on social media? Now, Heart has what we call an on-the-go apps. You go into Play Store and you can find the information. And within that app, what you do, you see everything related to Heart. You know what I like about us now? We're even mobile moving. Which institution in Jamaica is actually doing mobile assessment? Mobile. In other words, if I already have the skills and I already have the knowledge, test the knowledge and the skill that I have now. I'm not going to put myself in 4 or 5 years into school when I already acquire what I need to acquire practically and theoretically. I'm going to test those skills. So we have the mobile assessment unit that goes around and tests you. The apps allow you to apply for that. You go on it and you look for the information, look for the skill, look for the closest region to you, look for the closest institution to you, whatever it is at your fingertip. And you register for whatever you want to do. And within that time frame, by the time you click the button, there's somebody responding to you that based on, they might ask you for a few more evidential qualification or background on you. And then they can another click on the button to say on X date, we're ready to empower you through certification. What better way that you want to transit into your life? What better way you want to ensure that you take on? Let me tell you something, students. Gone were the days when you have to fight to become a soldier, police, a lawyer, a teacher, or a nurse. We have so much opportunities now that you don't even have to compete with anybody what you want to become. You just need to become somebody. And that's why Heart NSTA is here. You know what I like? Technology is taking over the world. And everybody becomes savvy. Even those who have never been savvy before are now savvy. I heard you talking about all the areas that they have. Awesome, I love it. And you can't go wrong in engineering, technological engineering. But I can also tell you that we have opportunities where you can do a whole heap of something. Can I tell you? I have Adrian. Mr. Adrian, you're there? No, Adrian Smith is from HCIT. We call it Hart College of Innovation and Technology. And I want you to listen to the name. Hart College of Innovation and Technology. The word innovation means we are coming out with your own creative ways of using what already exists so that you can now invent new or build on what already exists. So we are taking your innovative skills out and we're making you to an entrepreneur from simple doing any simple IT course. Mr. Adrian Smith, HCIT counselor, he will tell you about those programs that they have that will excite you to become better than what you are. Mr. Smith.
All right, give me a second. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So as mentioned by Mr. Francis, my name is Adrian Smith, and I am coming to you from Hart College of Innovation and Technology. Pardon me. All right, so we are located at 1 Rampart Close, that is in Montego Bay. And that is, there's only one stoplight on Top Road in Montego Bay, and we're right beside the Grandiosa Hotel. All right, so as it relates to my institution, Hart College of Innovation and Technology, as the name suggests, we are the premier institution that is responsible within the banner of Hart Trust for computer science and technology. All right, so I just want to say something to the trainees or the students who are inside of this meeting room, that no matter what profession you want to take on, you are going to have a knowledge of the use of technology. So as we can see, the pandemic is taking a toll on us, and most persons who did not have the knowledge to utilize the computer, the simplest thing as paying a bill, doing application forms, even the COVID application form to be vaccinated, you have to go online. So what this is saying to us is that everything is going in a technological way, and therefore we have to keep ourselves abreast with what is happening, keep ourselves with what is happening, keep ourselves up to the time in terms of technological advancements so that we can remain viable, also to remain marketable in the global workspace. So here at my institution, I'm just gonna go through the slides one by one, and I'm gonna share with you why it is that you will need to do or choose a career in IT. So the first one is all persons need to be trained in some kind of IT related course, as the world is now moving in a more technological way. And we can see that is happening even in front of you right now, because maybe last year you would have had this session face to face while you're at school. However, we're now having these sessions online via Zoom. Last year you didn't even know what Zoom was, right? And this year you are now on an online workshop, right? Even for those persons who are going to a UE, a UTech, a NCU, those tertiary institutions, I find that from my experience being here as a counselor, we have many applications coming from these schools. Even though they would have completed their training, they have to come back to us to be trained in some sort of skill area. So it says to me that even though going to UE or UTech or NCU for 5 years or 4 years to be trained in a degree, it also means that having a skill is very much vital in order to make you more viable and more employable out there in the field of work. Right. So you are being prepared for the global labor market or the workforce. So what this means to all of us is that you're not being prepared to just work here in Jamaica or to work for somebody. You are being prepared to be employed not only in Jamaica, you're prepared to work in the Commonwealth, you're also prepared to work anywhere around the world with our certification, because if you know anything about Hard Trust and NSTA, you know that we are very much recognized for our training and our certification. So you are not only being trained for the local market, but you're also being trained to take on the jobs that are available in the global workspace. There is a constant increase in job opportunities within this field. So every single year, there is a new and emerging trend or job that pops up out of information technology, right? So it is always evolving, it will always be relevant. So it is a field that is going to be needed 10, 20, 30 years down the line, whatever it may be, right? If you even want to be a mechanic, you realize that the motor vehicles that are being processed or made now, they are actually computerized. And take the Tesla, for example, which is a brand of car now. It is fully functional via a computer. So therefore, for you to be able to fully correct a challenge that may be happening with a motor vehicle in today's day and age, you will definitely need to have a knowledge of information technology, and more so, you may need to have a knowledge of software programming, which we offer at our institution. You also earn a better income. Yes, of course. You are able to demand as much as you want to demand in your pocket, right? So persons who are involved in the information technology feel they are earning quite a sum of money, right? If you're driven by money, IT is a place to be. Low cost of education, example, Hard Trust NTA. So I'm just gonna touch on this for a second. And for our courses here at Hart, more so Hart College of Innovation and Technology, our courses are heavily subsidized by Hard Trust, heavily subsidized by the government. And this is done so that youths like yourself are able to access education at a cheaper rate, right? We don't want 10 years down the line, you are the same persons who are coming on the TV and saying, boy, we want justice, government now giving our work, etc. The government is training persons like yourself in these fields so that when the opportunities come, you are able to grasp them. So guess what? You hear on the news, the government is talking about the logistics hub. And this is a shipping port that is going to be built on the Goat Islands, right? You have heard several stories about this in the news. However, once this is built, then we're going to need a lot of IT personnel to fill the capacity to operate this port. But if we are not grasping these opportunities that come to us, then guess what is going to happen? We are going to have to import labor. The Chinese and the Japanese and the Indians, they're the persons who are going to be coming into our island and capturing all of these jobs simply because we are not prepared for it. Therefore, Hart Trust NSTA and Hart College of Innovation and Technology, we are trying to prepare young minds so that you are able to capitalize when the time comes. Fast employment. This is one of the career fields that you are able to be employed at a quicker rate. Check a teacher. If a teacher is supposed to apply for a position presently, it may take months, maybe even years before they are able to get a job, their first job, because teachers are not actually moving out of their positions at this time because you're more to lose jobs than to gain a job right now. But in information technology, you can get online jobs in different areas. Right now, you can see that persons are earning from even YouTube, persons are earning from TikTok, persons are earning from social media in general. So therefore, it means that information technology is where things are going. A variety of careers. We have a lot of fields that you can capitalize on. Social media marketing. In times gone by, persons didn't even know that you would have a social media marketer. And that person is someone who markets a product or a service on different platforms. So that person is responsible for marketing the product on, let's say, like Grace Kennedy, marketing their products on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those social media sites to ensure that the word is out there and it is in your face. It is constantly in your face, and to ensure that persons buy the products or the service more. All right. So this is some of the reasons why you should choose IT. So here are some of the courses that HCIT offers. So we have software programming level 3, and I'm going to walk you through the different levels that we have and what they mean, even though we would have touched on it a little bit. But we have web design, we have digital animation level 3, network administration level 3, system administration level 3, Cisco IT essentials, customer engagement level 2, we have graphic design, and we have what is called Get Connected. So let me work my way from the bottom to the top. So Get Connected is actually an introductory course for persons who don't have a good grasp of how to use the internet as well as to use a computer. So we take you from point A, and we're going to be taking you from to point B, where you are fully literate to use the computer systems. We have graphic design, and graphic design is one of those courses that I am a product of as well. And as I said, that Hartrust teaches you how to not only go and work for somebody, but you're able to work for yourself as well. So it's about job creation. So for me personally, graphic design, after I did the course, I learned how to use Photoshop. So the first thing that I learned how to do is to make flyers, posters, business cards, and that is how I started. But it evolved from there for me. And what happened is that I started to dabble in editing photos. And now I'm a photographer. I bought my camera, and now I'm a photographer, as well as I am able to do videography as well. So it has been evolving as I go along. So these are some professions that have been created since I have done that course. Customer engagement. So this is for persons who are interested in working in the front office sector, right? So we're talking about the hotel industry, we're talking about the BPO industry, all of those places. Cisco IT essentials, so we're talking about computer repairs. And most of the persons that you may see in and around your area who may be fixing like phones, computer repairs, etc., they would have gotten this certification and they are now gainfully employed. System administration has to do with an individual who is responsible for ensuring that a computer is fully functional software-wise, and also the operating system is working effectively. And network administration is a person that cables or runs the cables around a specific location so that the location can have access to the internet. All right. And we have the digital animation, which is the individual who is responsible for making cartoons. Our students here have made several animations that even have been aired on TV. So we fully equip you for these type of certification. So a level 2 is equivalent to a certificate, A level 3 is equivalent to a diploma, and a level 4 is equivalent to an associate degree. So what I want to say to you now, ladies and gentlemen, is that you can work your way up the ladder academically through hard trust, and you can achieve your academic goals, right? You can also even do your level 5, which is equivalent to your Bachelor's of Science degree, right? So for many of us, our situations are different. Our financial situations are different. Mommy and daddy are not able to send you to a UE or a UTech where you're going to be paying maybe like 250,000 or 350 per term. Get that straight, per term. While you can come to Hard Trust and you can do any of our level 3 courses, level 2 or level 3 courses for $3,000 or $5,000. Yes, I just said it. 3,000 or 5,000 Jamaican dollars. That is what you're going to be paying for a course that you probably would have been paying $250,000 for to be certified, right? So therefore, the government of Jamaica has your interests at heart, right? So these are some of the courses that we have to offer. We also do geomatics as well, and that is one of the new and emerging skill areas that is coming. Well, it is here. And it is something that you need to look into, do your research, and it is a course that you need to do as well, because there's going to be the need for a lot of persons who are knowledgeable in this field. Some of the requirements for you to be a part of my institution, you need to have or pass at least the entrance test. You need to have at least one CXC subject, but I'm just going to stop right there. The students who come to us, they don't come to us with one subject and they don't come to us with the entrance test. I know it is a requirement. However, we have students who are coming to us with 10, 9, 8, 7 CXE subjects to do our courses. So it simply means that it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for you to get in. It's going to be tough, right? Because we have so many young, bright minds who are willing and ready to be a part of our courses, right? So it means to you that you pass all of your subjects so that you are able to acquire an education, right? IT Essentials, you need to have at least 2 CXCs so that you can do the course, and it can be in any subject area. It's not specific, all right? The courses, as I mentioned, we are the lowest costing tertiary institution. So as I mentioned, level 2 is $3,000, level 3 is $5,000. We have Cisco IT Essentials, which is $21,000, and graphic design is $15,000. So we also have courses that are international certificates. So we're not only giving you an NVQJ, a National Vocational Qualification of Jamaica, but we're also giving you a Cisco certificate. So if you are supposed to do network administration or system administration and you pay your 5,000 Jamaican dollars, you will be getting as well a Cisco IT Essentials, which is valued at $21,000 as well. So we have twinned the 2 certifications. So you'll be leaving the institution with 2 certificates. Once you have your IT Essentials certificate, that enables you to work anywhere around the world. You can work in the UK, you can work in the US, you can work in the Caribbean, anywhere at all that you find yourself. If you even reach to Dubai, that is, you can be employed with that certification. So you are being equipped to be marketable in a global workspace, all right? And finally, before I leave and hand over back to Mr. Francis, when you come to our institution, we take care of you from entry to exit. So what that means is that when you come to school, we teach you how to formulate your resume. And at my institution and many of the other institutions, we have what is called a resume bank. So as soon as you would have submitted your resume to us, we vet your resume and we store your resume for job opportunities. So therefore, we're looking out for your best interests in terms of employment as well. Before you leave, we have what is called work experience. We also do work study. We also do what is called voluntary service, because all of these are requirements for you to get your first job, right? An employer, potential employer, is looking for persons who have voluntary service, and it speaks volume to the type of individual that you are, right? We have what is called exit readiness. So what that is that we expose you to the different topics or things that you need to know to get you employed, as well as we do what is called mock interviews with you to ensure that when you leave the institution, you are the full package. And from experience, when we send our students out on work study or work experience, they don't come back. They are hired by the persons that we send them to, right? Or sometimes if you're not hired, the employers are sitting and waiting on them to finish their certification so that they can start their job. So that is why I mentioned that it has the fastest rate of employment, right? So opportunities are there for you, ladies and gentlemen. I just implore you to not just put yourself in a box and say, boy, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. I want to explore my options, do some more deep research, because there are several opportunities or several jobs that are underpopulated and they need persons to fill them. And it is positions that are high earning positions. All right. So let me just run through some of the jobs that you can get after doing IT. You can be a tech support agent. You can be a computer programmer. You can be a computer repairs technician, a quality assurance tester, and this person checks software, games, mobile applications to ensure that they're up to the industry standards. Web developer, mobile app developer, and we have many students here who have developed apps that are now in your Play Store. System analyst, network engineer, user experience designer is another one. IT security specialist, so you need persons who are going to combat hackers. And we also train persons in cybersecurity here at our institution. We do cloud system engineer, database administrator. That person is employed to specialize software to organize and keep track of data. And we have software engineer, system administrator, and those are just a few of the positions that you can get while you're or after you would have completed our course. All right, so thank you so much, and I'll now hand over back to Mr. Francis.
You know, and I must say though, who says that there's not, you know, enough out there for every single individual walking out of high school? And I wanted to share something while he was making this presentation as it relates to how you get into the institutions. And he was focusing on what HCIT is doing, which is Hart College of Innovation and Technology. He was focusing on that. But right across Jamaica, you would have seen quite a number of Hart institutions that will lay out all the various programs. So you talk about engineering, from welding, electronics, from mechanicals, all those engineering areas of practical skills you can acquire across the length and breadth of Jamaica in various regions. We mentioned earlier that all you need is a birth certificate and a TRN to make sure that you get in. But because of the wide demand of skill training from not just you being fresh coming out of high school, but also professional individuals taking on the opportunity, we are saying the competition can be greater. So we're not saying stay in school and idle, you know, because we don't want you to leave school without anything. But we also understand that there's situations that would have prevented you from having the subjects you want. And we don't want that to be an issue where you leave school now and you're worrying what's next. We're saying as soon as you get out, there is an institution that is waiting for you to take on another opportunity of your career journey. And I keep on going to use this tagline: your passion will drive you into your future success. So you have to understand that heart is saying whether you want to do on-the-job training, whether you want to do assessment only, whether you want to do the challenge exam, whether it's going to be a cluster-based exam, whether it's going to be just you doing anything that requires you moving from where you are, heart is saying come in. You know, the good thing about it, students, is that we never turn you back. We have been merged, and we have NYS, which taking some programs. We have JFLL now, which is now called Adult Educational Services, that just in case something happened and you messed up school, we put you back in school for 1 year. The government pay for 5 CXC subjects. All you need to do is to go to class. We had what we call the National Unattached Youth Program, where the government pay you to learn. And you tell me there is not enough? You tell me that you don't see the opportunity? You tell me that the only thing you can do is to sit and idly and form gangs and do the things that is going to tear you down rather than fulfilling what you should become? There is so much that Heart NSTA has to offer you. All it does, it takes a phone call or a visit into one of the offices. As a matter of fact, right now I can tell you, run to one of your guidance counselor or your head of section or your principal or your vice principal and see how much information they can acquire to give to you. So by the time you get to grade 11 or to 6th form, you already know where to go. And finally, Heart has some unique programs, very unique programs that match to everyone. You might be sitting home or wherever you are on this platform, and you might be saying, but sir, there are other physical challenges that I face. Sir, there are other ways, there are other things that is happening to me, or there are things that happen to my siblings, or there are things that happen to person around me. And I want to use this medium to not just to empower and to fulfill my future dream into moving into into UWI, or to moving into the Heart NSTA. I want to take others and tell others. I have with me our last presenter, Mrs. Roche Henry, who's going to tell you about those 3 unique programs that you can take on and you can become a better student even now. Mrs. Henry.
Good afternoon, students, teachers, and representatives from the various colleges. Good afternoon, colleagues. All right, so, you know, thinking about everything that Mr. Francis mentioned, coming to Heart, you know, working at Heart, I did not know that Heart had all these programs until I started working with them, right? You know, a couple of years ago when I was in grade 11, I wanted to pursue the field of becoming a counselor, right? And I remember being told that I have to be 18 years and older in order to start college. Well, that was then. Now it's different, you know? And I was thinking, for 1 year, I would have to sit down, not doing anything, you know? So now thinking back, if I knew about all these opportunities within the 1 year, I would take up the opportunity, sign up an application, start with Heart, gain a skill. And now that I went to college and I have my degree, I would have another skill to make me more marketable. I would have been more prepared for the work world, right? My first interview, I was nervous. You know, being at Heart, we prepare persons for the interview process. So Mr. Adrian mentioned the exit readiness. We prepare each and every trainee, whether you're on one of our traineeship program or you decide to sign up for institutional training. We bring you through the process, and at the end, we give you a hand. We don't just push you out there, we prepare you. So let me talk about the NSCP program. And this program for persons, you know, it provides you with work experience. So for 6 months, you can be on this program, and it's similar to the RAP and SL Top. However, it's shorter. it's for 6 months. You should be 17 to 29 years old in order to sign up for this program, right? And for persons who decide that, you know, they might not want to come to Heart, they might be, you know, they might decide that they want to go to UE, UTech, I see Knox Community College, right? We have what is called the Graduate Work Experience Program. And for short, it is known as the GWEP. So for this program, it's crafted to support graduates between the ages of 17 to 29 with little or no working experience in their field of study. So imagine, I remember when I just finished college, I see a lot of jobs. However, these jobs state that they need persons with work experience. You know, looking back, sometimes I feel bitter because I'm like, so if I finish college, you know, how am I going to get experience unless you employ me? So now looking at this program provides you with the opportunity to gain work experience. So we offer various jobs in private and public sector in your field of study. So imagine that. So if you decide to go to college and you don't have any work experience and you want to gain work experience, come to Heart, sign up for a GWEP, and we will give you the opportunity to gain all the experience that you need. This doesn't only, you know, provide you with the experience, but it improves your awareness of the workplace demands and standards and employers' expectation. You gain employability skills and you also strengthen your core skill set, right? So being a part of this program now help you to be more marketable. You're able to, when you go to an interview, you're able to present yourself. You're able to share, pull up on your experiences that you have gained from this particular program. The duration for this program is 6 months. And remember, you have to be 17 to 29. Now, in order to be a part of this program, of course, you have to be a graduate. You have to have your associate degree or your bachelor's, of course. And at the end of the training, participants receive an NVQJ certificate. So this certificate can be utilized to demonstrate your successful completion of this program. So Heart is for everyone. Persons with their doctorate, persons with their masters, persons with their bachelors, come to Heart in order to gain a skill, because skill make you more powerful. So you have your degree already, you want to become more powerful, not just power, but more powerful, you add a skill to that, right? And last but not least, we have what is called our empowerment program. So what is this program? So this program was rolled out and it's geared towards ensuring persons with disabilities are ready to conquer the Jamaican labor market. So we are not just focusing on, you know, persons who leave school, persons who want skills, you know, we focus on persons with disability as well. So whether they have intellectual disability, some form of yet certain physical disabilities, we provide the opportunity for them also. We provide personal and professional development, and we ensure that persons with special need learn job readiness skill and gain work experience as well. So you have a sister, you know, you have a brother at home, they have a disability, you know, don't hinder their opportunity. Send them down to Heart, come with them, we interview you and we see how we can, you know, meet you halfway to meet your needs. And you don't have to worry, because sometimes when the parents come with these persons, they're worried that, you know, they might run off or whatever. We train them, even the basic things as to how to function, how to utilize a machine, because of course they're gaining work experience. We are going to, you know, provide them with a stipend in order to help them financially. We teach them how to use the ATM, right? They are assigned a job coach who provide guidance and assess where they are, as in their weakness and the challenges that they're facing. Because of course, it might be some of them, you know, first time, you know, being amongst other persons and being on the job. Of course, they're going to face some challenges, just as how we face challenges on a daily basis. So we are there, we not just put them out there and turn our backs on them, but the job course is there to, you know, give them a hand, guide them. If we realize that, you know, they are facing a specific challenge, you know, they come to the council and we assist them in gaining the skills that they need to handle these challenges. To be a part of this program, the requirements are that persons should be 17 to 34 years old. They should have a referral to be done by a medical institution. The application form is available at any of our heart offices, at any of our parish offices. Of course, with every program that we have, we definitely need your TRN, your birth certificate. For the job, on-the-job training programs, we need your NIS. And of course, a stipend is attached to this program. So of course, we will need their account, their bank account information, and the card should be in their name, because we're teaching them how to be independent, of course. So usually at the end of this program, you know, we encourage a person, like the place that the organization that we place them in, we usually ask them if they can keep them. If not, and most of the time they get permanently employed at the end of the program. So heart is not just, you know, trying to reach a specific class of persons, or, you know, specific person, but we are trying to give every Jamaican the opportunity to develop the skills that they need in order to, you know, meet the demand, the competitive demand of the labor force, of the labor market. So we are here. If you know anyone at home, you have a brother or sister, definitely their guardian or their parents can bring them to any of our heart location, and you can sign up for any of this program for, you know, your siblings or your family member. So we are here, of course, and we are indeed happy, and we will welcome you with open arms to join any of our program. And when you come to any of our office, if you are in doubt or you're confused, you can always see a career services officer, or any of our institutions, you can see a career development officer who can provide you with guidance. We do psychometric assessment. So if you're unsure as to which career to pursue, we can guide you in choosing the right career, and not just a job, going to a job where you get paid, but you get up every day and you do what you're passionate about. So you don't have to think of it as work or a job as something, you know, tiring. Imagine you spending hours at work. It's very important that you choose something that you are passionate about. All right, so yes, that's it for empowerment, our WEP and our NSCP program.
All right.
So let me hand over back to Mr. Francis.
And what better note to end Heart NSCA Trust on? To say that we cater for every single individual. Now, here's my final piece. The clusters of schools that are on this platform cannot say you did not hear. You cannot say a few years from now, I didn't have the opportunity to make it. When the rest of the world is sitting, I want all the students and faculties and teachers on the platform to be standing. And if the world challenge you to stand, I want you to be outstanding. And if the world think that they're going to dare you and be outstanding with you, I want this cluster to be the standard to be used. Give your students this opportunity to be all that they can. And students, take the opportunity to be all that you can, because tomorrow awaits you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Francis, and your team. I wish to say just thank you to Mrs. Shorna Newman Mary, Region 4 Director of Heart Trust NSTA, Adrian Smith, and he's a career counselor of the Hart College of Innovation and Technology, Altonia Hilton, and you heard her earlier, and Rashay McKenzie. And on the other side of the team, I'd like to thank Mrs. Bolero Horton and her team of presenters and all those tech personnels who assisted us this afternoon. So we had Dr. Nicole Plummer, Dr. Omar Thomas, Mr. Murray, Dr. Tion Jones, Mr. Shiko Taylor, and Dr. Andre Coy. And at this time, it's over to you, Mrs. Horton. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Wisdom, we at the UWI want to really thank you for accommodating us so we could share with the cluster of schools. Thank you for arranging it with all those other counselors. We really appreciate that we could speak with your grade 9 students at this time to help to influence them in their selection of subjects as they go forward to grade 10. It is very important time in their lives, and we are glad to always be a part of it. We want to remind them that the UWI is here for them. Without you, there is no UE, so we always have to come to you. Thank you very much. Continue to do the hard work that you are doing. Counselors from Knox, from Homewood, Alston, and Christiana and Alphonsus Davis. Thank you so very much from the University of the West Indies. And remember that we always inspire excellence and produce leaders. So from the UWI to you all the very best, and thank you again for partnering with us in this year career opportunities for grade 9 students. All the best to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Horton. And just say something about them getting the information on YouTube.
All that was shared.
Okay, all right then. Thank you so much.
Okay,
all right,
thank you very
so
much.
goodbye, everybody.
Again. All the best to you.
Okay,
all
bye.
The best to Mr. Francis and his team as well.
Yes.
Okay, bye. So as you have thanked our tech team already. They have been here for, wow, from 12:30. So it's a long time. We want to thank again for so ably leading us through this era.
And I hope we can do this again.
And all the best.
Then. Yes, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.